up, movie crew? It's the conclusion of what I watched during the month of January. Yesterday, I showed all the TV shows I watched. Today, I'm showing off the movies that I watched. But before I get started, if you are new to this channel, my name is Luke, this is Let's Watch a Movie, and if you're anything cinema and physical media related, you've come to the right place, so hit that subscribe button. Emphasis on that because at 1,000 subscribers, I am doing a 5 Steelbook giveaway. Alright, so, for many different reasons, like I mentioned in the TV, what I watched, I was at home a little bit more this month than I was previous months. So, I have a little bit larger of a watch list compared to other months. So I wanted to start off with what I watched on streaming services. So, on Hulu, I watched God Forbid, which is the documentary on Jerry Falwell Jr. and the downfall of the Falwells. For anyone that is wondering, I had to watch this because I live in the city where Liberty University is. I am not going to give my thoughts for a couple different reasons. I will say kudos to that person for coming forward, but there was a couple of things in there where I could not help but laugh because, again, I live in the area. I'm not saying I'm completely knowledgeable of everything that goes on at LU, but there's a couple things in there where I caught myself laughing. Simple as that. On Netflix, I watched the sequel to Knives Out, Glass Onion, and Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio. Alright, I'm going to show it off in a minute as well. I did rewatch Knives Out to kind of give myself a refresher on Daniel Craig's character before watching Glass Onion. Knives Out, I enjoyed. It was fun. It was a nice little whodunit sort of thing, but it wasn't pretentious or trying to be something that it wasn't. I can't say the same for Glass Onion. There was a couple of times where I felt like it was trying to question my intelligence. I know a lot of people that loved Glass Onion. That's cool. I'm glad everyone who liked it did like it. I did not. Don't know what else to really say beyond that. And in a year where we somehow ended up with 3 Pinocchio movies, I did not watch the Disney Plus one because apparently it sucks. I'm not watching the Pauly Shore one because I don't need to watch it to know that it sucks. I did watch the one from Del Toro because I am a fan of his work, and I've got to say, his version of Pinocchio was amazing. I highly recommend, if you have Netflix, to watch Pinocchio. And knowing that Del Toro is a bit of a physical media person, I really hope he can reach some deal with Netflix that will allow him to give us a physical release for Pinocchio, because if you don't own any of his movies on physical media, the man over-delivers with everything. So, Netflix, let the man put out Pinocchio on Blu-ray and 4K. Alright, so these next two I bought at a kiosk at Redbox because they were both $2.99, and I kind of wanted to just see them for myself first before actually buying them. And that is Emily the Criminal with Aubrey Plaza and American Carnage. Emily the Criminal was pretty good. There was a couple parts where you can kind of tell what's going to happen, but the plot made sense. It didn't overstay its welcome. And while it was predictable a couple of times, it had a good cast that was able to deliver phenomenal performances. American Carnage, I picked up because I did not realize that I have watched every Jenna Ortega project this year except for American Carnage. And being someone who wants to be a completionist, I was like, you know what? I know nothing about this movie, but I will at least check it out. It has a very unique twist in the movie for anyone that has not seen it. I gotta say it's pretty good. It was very unique. I can definitely see this movie being something some people might not like, but it is at least worth watching. And I got this from my Redbox kiosk for $2.99, I believe. So definitely worth checking out. As I mentioned earlier, watch Knives Out. Still love the first movie. Very good. Might not have liked Glass Onion as much, but this one was still worth a watch. Or in this case, a rewatch. The Menu. I mentioned it quite a few times when I showed off what I bought because I pretty much rewatched it the day I bought it. This movie is great. Pin comment down below. I will have the link to my review for this movie when I saw it in theaters. It is definitely worth the watch. Anya Taylor-Joy and Ralph Fiennes deliver some amazing performances. And let me move my stack a little bit closer. Rampage. We are now at the point where The Rock is pretty much playing the same character in all his movies, and he's just taking existing IP mixed with his star power. I do not recommend this movie. It was trash. Air. For those that don't know, this was created by Robert Kirkman, who created The Walking Dead, Invincible. To any of my comic book people out there, he also did one called Outcast, which I highly recommend checking out. I don't know if this is a pun intended thing or not, but this needed a little more room to breathe. It wasn't bad, but it could have been a lot better. Reservoir Dogs. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but this is actually my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. And going back and rewatching it, it is still my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. This was just, I don't know what else I can say about that hasn't already been said. I know a lot of people prefer Pulp Fiction. This is my number one. Lego Ninjago. So I bought this because I knew I was going to do a Lego movie collection, and I didn't realize it until I was going through that I owned all the theatrical releases except for Ninjago. So when I found it, I was like, you know what? I've never watched this. I've only watched episodes of the TV series. I'm going to sit down and watch it. It's not a bad movie, but given that we had the TV series at the time, which delivered, this I felt fell a little flat compared to the TV series and them recasting certain people just so they could have names to put butts in seats. It won't bad, and I definitely recommend it for anyone that enjoyed the TV series or even the other theatrically released Lego movies. This just wasn't, not bad, but definitely could have been better. Smile. Again, pin comment down below where you can check out my review for this movie when I saw it in theaters. This movie still holds up. There were scenes where I knew what was coming the second time around, and it still scared the shit out of me. One of the bonus features is also a short film made by the director that ultimately led to the creation of this movie. And that short film was also great. So, if you have not seen Smile yet, I highly recommend picking up the Blu-ray or the 4K. I picked up the Blu-ray just to save a little bit of money that week because I bought this along with like 5 other titles. Get the physical release so you can get the bonus features because the bonus features are worth watching, and it's got the short film Laura Hasn't Slept. And that is definitely worth the watch. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I bought this a while back, and the reason I got this is because even though I have a Blu-ray, I have a Blu-ray that's on a combo pack, and it's just those 3 movies. This has the special features. And I wanted to check out the short film that is on here that is kind of, let me make sure I get the name right. Joyride. So I wanted to go ahead and watch both of those. Both are definitely worth the watch. I Know What You Did Last Summer is still a 90s classic horror film. Highly recommend checking it out. While the 4K does look good, given how many scenes take place at night, take with that decision as you will. But I will say this much, the standard Blu-ray is out of print, so the only ones that are available are ones that are part of combo packs. This one has all the special features. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This was sitting in my stack of movies I hadn't watched since I bought the physical release. Again, pinned comment down below with the review for this. It's not bad, but I definitely understand why people do not like this movie. And I will definitely say the second time around, because I knew what was happening and some of the performances did not hold up as much the second time around. But if you have not seen this yet, I want to warn you, there is a chance you will not like this movie. Pearl. I just randomly decided, you know what? I hadn't rewatched Pearl yet. So I decided to give this a rewatch. And just like X, it is still a good movie. While I do think that Mia Goth's performance in here is better than her performance in X, or performances, if you know, you know. I still think X is the better movie, but this has definitely got the better story. And I am very much looking forward to seeing what Ty West and Mia Goth do with Maxine, which is the 3rd movie in this X trilogy. The Changeling. I got this at a local flea market in my area for $1. I'm glad I only paid $1. It's got some good performances, but the movie itself had a lot of potential and did not deliver. On top of that, it is almost 2 hours long, and you can feel it. When I saw the announcement that this got nominated for 11 Oscars, and I've already mentioned in my review how much I love this movie, I will have that in the pinned comment down below. I also mentioned this being one of my favorite films of 2022. I had to rewatch Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. This is probably my 4th or 5th time watching this, and I still love this movie. If you have not seen it yet, the Blu-ray and 4K, I believe, have seen price cuts. I don't know if this particular exclusive at Walmart is still going to be available, but you can still pick up the physical release for a cheap price, and it is going back to theaters after the announcement of 11 Oscar nominations. Out of those 11, I hope it gets, I would love to see it get a clean sweep, but there's one category where I'm not sure if I want it to win or not, because there's another performance that I thought was really good. I did a short about this. I didn't realize until I was looking up something, and that is Ghost Ship and 13 Ghosts. I did a double watch one night when I didn't have to be anywhere the next day. 13 Ghosts I thought was good. It had some cool stuff in it. But I wish it would have done a little bit more of a deep dive into the ghosts themselves. Because it's kind of like, all right, well, why is this ghost like this? And why are they haunting this particular place? Ghost Ship, I enjoyed. As the story progresses, I thought it did a good job telling the story. I know it's gotten some mixed responses, but I thought it was good. They are made by the same director, and these are his only 2 directorial features. The Book of Life. After watching Pinocchio, while this is not a directorial feature from him, this was spearheaded by Del Toro, so I wanted to go back and kind of watch it as a little bit of a refresher. I know this kind of got pushed aside because it came out around the same time as Coco, and they both kind of talk about some of the same stuff. They are 2 very different movies. So if you did not see this because you thought it was a Coco ripoff, it's not. Go back and give this a watch if you haven't yet. Nope, from Jordan Peele. So I think I bought this at the beginning of the month, and again, I will have a pinned comment down below for my review of this movie if you have not seen it yet. I don't think it's as good of a movie as Us or Get Out, but for starters, it was cool seeing Jordan Peele make a sci-fi movie. I think he did a good job on that part. I do wish that the trailers didn't give away some of the stuff in the movie. And I will also say, while it might not be his best movie, he has definitely improved as a filmmaker. Like, if he could take some of the stuff he did with Get Out and mix it with some of the stuff he did with Nope, we could be seeing his best movie yet. And I stand behind that. Red Eye. I just had one of those nights where I couldn't sleep, and this was on my stack of movies I hadn't watched since I bought it. Well, technically, I didn't buy it. I will try to look up which weekly haul this was in. My mom actually bought this for me. Thanks, Mom! And I gotta say, it was a good movie. It held up. We're getting a 4K later this year. I am excited for that. And this was directed by the legendary Wes Craven. R.I.P. to Wes Craven. But this movie was great. Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy both delivered. I'd make sure I was about to call Rachel a different name. Sorry about that. But both of them delivered in this movie. And I am glad to see that it is finally getting an upgrade. Black Adam. I'll again have the review down below. I thought it was a very meh movie when I saw it in theaters, and my thoughts still stand. And knowing that we're not going to see Henry Cavill anymore, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it or has been living under a rock, because I feel like that has been kind of mentioned at this point. This was a letdown in more ways than one. And the fact that Rock will not show back up to cameo in either Shazam or Flash when those were apparently offered to him kinda pissed me off for a few different reasons. 3:10 to Yuma. I am not much of a Western fan for a couple different reasons, but the remake of 3:10 to Yuma is one that I very much enjoy. And when they announced the 4K Steelbook, I had to pick this one up. And this is still a great movie. And yes, I'm aware that people that like the original are going to say they prefer the original, or to any readers out there that like the work of Elmore Leonard, they're going to probably say that neither of them hold up to what Elmore Leonard wrote back in the day. Not going to argue anyone's responses. I'm just saying I personally think this movie delivered. The Frighteners. So, I got this from Groove a while back. And I have, oddly enough, never seen the movie before, but it was cheap. I'm aware that Second Sight has like a 6-disc set that's out now for anyone that wants to check that out. But I got this, I think, for $7. It was cool seeing pre-Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson. It was cool seeing an adult Michael J. Fox in a movie because I know he's had to limit his movie roles as time has went on. I thought this movie was pretty good. And there's a couple of parts where they definitely put in some humor, and the humor delivers. Unfortunately, this definitely proves that Peter Jackson likes making movies a little too long, because I feel like this movie could have been a little bit shorter and still told the same story. The Escape Plan 3 Film Collection. So I bought this because I don't know if I lost it from where I've moved a couple different times or what, but I could not find my copy of Escape Plan when I was going to watch it, and found this, I think, at Walmart for $7.50 on Blu-ray for all three. The first movie is still good. It's not great, but it's enjoyable. Arnold and Stallone do their thing. Jim Caviezel as the film's antagonist does great. But at the same time, there's a couple of points where you're like, alright, you can kind of tell what's going to happen. Some of the stuff feels a little cliche. But overall, it's still an enjoyable watch. Which is a lot more than I can say about Escape Plan 2 and 3. Sorry, Stallone, sorry, Batista, sorry, 50 Cent, but those two movies just... they're not good. I'm glad I only paid $7.50. Simple as that. And last, and certainly least, is Unforgettable with Katherine Heigl and Rosario Dawson. I got this at Dollar Tree, and when I was going through some of my older Dollar Tree pickups, I wanted to... for a future video, I found this in there. It's got a short runtime, so I was like, you know what? It's got Rosario Dawson. It's not a lengthy movie. I'm going to go ahead and watch it. This movie is so cliched and so predictable to the point where you're probably going to laugh when you watch it. I am sorry to the cast. I am sorry to the director, because I know this was her directorial debut, but... there's not much good about this movie. If you can find it at Dollar Tree like I did, go for it. If you see it somewhere else, I cannot recommend it. But that is everything as far as movies go that I watched during the month of January. And as always, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. You like what you see, leave a thumbs up. Comment down below. What did you watch during the month of January? But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all for watching, and tune in next time.